What's up guys, I'm Claymore, and today I'm going to be going through and showing you how I do different glowing effects. My understanding of effects is you can get away with most anything if you know how to do like magical style glowing effects, a fluorescent glowing effect, and then like an old school light bulb kind of effect. So here set up I have 3 different bulbs, and each one of them is gonna be a different glowing effect. And I think the first one we're gonna start with is gonna be the old school light bulb with the dimmer filament. So the first thing I want to do is mark out the cool looking filament. Now you don't need to get super technical with this. You're just going to draw kind of like a curly Q line in there that looks cool, and that is going to be the main source of your glow. So something like that, and that's just simply marking out how I want this thing to look. Now on that, I'm going to grab a dark orangey color, and I'm gonna actually fill in the entirety of the bulb, and that is going to be the base of my actual glow. So on top of that, I will add lighter colors to make it seem like the filament is glowing and casting a light to the inside of this bulb. Okay, so the next step, now that I've got basically what accounts as the background done, I'm going to grab a really bright orangey yellow color, almost white, and I'm going to trace over this filament that I added, and that will actually be my light source in this. So everything else you do from this point on is going to happen underneath that filament layer, because you don't want anything to overtake your really bright white color. So underneath that, I am going to continue working on the filament to give it a nice glow effect, then we'll work on the glass around the filament. So I've got the actual glow effect of the filament relatively to my liking, and now I'm going to go into the background again, and I'm going to add some shadows, because there's actually, this is a 3-dimensional tube, so in the back, further away from you, is going to be darker than the things closer to you. So now I've got the basic glow and the filament and some of the reflectiveness of the light. Now I want to add a little bit of texture, because glass isn't perfect, and if this is kind of like an aged thing, adding a little bit of texture will help. So I actually have a few rust brushes that I'm going to be using to go through and add some texture to this bulb, and maybe that will make it feel a little bit more interesting and realistic. So with the bulb part completely done, the next step is to add some actual lighting effects to the area around the bulb, because obviously this is shedding light, so like these 2 fixtures here would have some of that orange light. Right now they're just kind of dull gray, so let's go ahead and fix that. Now with this style of light bulb, they don't give off a ton of light, so I'm not going to do much of like a halo effect. I'll do a little bit of one, but even the glow onto the metal parts is kind of subdued, because that's just the style of bulb that I'm going for, is this old school dim filament type look. So for the actual glow around the entire piece, what I'll do is I'll take a soft kind of mid-tone orange that goes well with this, and I'll just basically do a tube around it, or just one single pass, and it'll fill out the sides and a little bit around the filaments, and that's it. And that's really all you need. And so now we have the classic old light bulb style finished, and now we're gonna move on to the next glowing style, which is fluorescent. And this is obviously different from the light bulb one, because fluorescents have a completely different effect. It doesn't take nearly as much detail, and this is usually, in my opinion, the most commonly seen. Just like before, I'm going to start with a darker color. Let's go with some kind of purple this time. I don't want to reuse orange again. Let's go ahead and do a dark-ish purple. And this is prone to change, of course. This is just something to get us started here. But then something with fluorescent bulbs, even when they're colored, the actual light itself is just like a slightly soft, pure white. So with fluorescence, the actual bulb portion is the simplest area, but it's the glow around it that really makes it feel like it's glowing, because the bulb is simply mostly white with a little bit of color of the glass, but the light that it casts is much more vibrant. When doing the actual halo glow is what I kind of call it, you need to think about how the light forms around the area, right? So if this were laying on a flat surface, this bottom part of the bulb would be closest to that surface, so it would be white and then it would glow out from there. Also, these fixtures are cutting off some of the light, so they would cast shadows or at least cut out the light. So these kind of hooped shapes here are actually the fixtures blocking out light. Now, from here, what we do is we actually go in, and once again, this kind of grayish area, we add our bounce lighting that is on the metal surface, and then the fluorescent bulb is done. It's the simplest and easiest to use of them all. So now with the fluorescent bulb done, we are going to be moving on to magical glowing, which is, in my opinion, it's a little bit more subdued. There's not a super bright white, but it casts this really strong aura across everything, and it actually, like, what I've found is on these areas and the other two where I didn't color, usually it tends to tint those as well, and so the magic is a little bit more encompassing in this glow. Just as usual, once I get the background of it done, just to get some color one step closer to what we want, you know. We have to decide, do we want the glowing effect to emanate from a little spot, or do we want it to be the whole length of it? Now, like I said, the magical halo light that we are talking about is pretty potent, so it covers up a lot more than what you think it would. It actually tints all the areas around it. That way it looks like it's really powerful and emanating light. So all of this gray area, I'm actually going to tint orange for the most part. So now for the halo glowing effect, we need to make a layer underneath, and we're going to first make it glow quite a bit, like much more than all the other ones, because this is a magical glow, so it's a little bit more potent. But on top of that, we need to make sure that the areas closer to the bulb are lighter, so we make our brush a bit smaller, and just around here, go ahead and make that glow, and there you go. And now that seems very bright, but we actually used pretty dark colors, and that's kind of what the magical glow is all about. It's not super bright, doesn't have pinpoint highlights or anything like that. It just kind of this really omnipresent glow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and maybe learned a thing or two. If you have any questions, you can just go ahead and throw them down in the comments. I'm always there checking it out, reading them all, trying to answer as many as I can. So until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. If you want to come watch me live, then join me on my Twitch channel. You can also follow me on my Twitter to chat and get frequent updates. So until next time, have a good one.